So what's ended up happening here is somebody was meant to come and do this job today, and story of my life is people are just fucking unreliable and full of false promises. The guy's just not turned up, so I've decided to just have a tackle on myself. A lot of you probably don't know, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet here because I'll go into the story a bit more, is I'm actually a qualified mechanic. When I left school, I went straight into college to learn to be a mechanic. Then I went on placement to Gilda's Volkswagen, so I trained as a Volkswagen mechanic. Then I went to a small independent garage, and every single one of them places bullied me like fuck. And I got all the fucking worst things that apprentices get done to me every single day. So it left me not wanting to do it anymore. So I left that and moved on to something else. But I took the qualifications with me, and I never wanted to work on cars again. Jesus Christ, it took me so long to get to this point to record this little bit of video, and then it all just goes to shit. So basically what happened was, I was gonna record changing the, taking the head gasket off and everything, and then the memory card was full on the camera, and by that point I got oily hands. I weren't in the mood for that. That camera got thrown. So I'll update you on all that in a bit, but then I've come to record it. I've emptied the memory card on my iPad, put the memory card back in here. It's not emptied, so I've had to format the card, lost a load of fucking data, load of videos and that. And then the phone fell off here, and I kicked it, and then it went. Didn't like being kicked, actually. Didn't like being kicked, this camera. That's alright, because it's only an 800 quid camera. So it probably isn't made for being kicked. My GoPro, which is about 200 quid, you can kick that. Anyway, right, let's get into what's happening with Land Rover. Right, so I took the head off. Clearly it was head gasket. I kind of knew it was going to be a head gasket. Nothing else seems bad, nothing else seems damaged. I bought a new water pump, which is in the cupboard. I bought a new V-belt, which is in the cupboard. I bought some new head bolt, which is not here yet. I've not bought a gasket yet because the head's been sent off to the engineers. They've confirmed that it is warped, and that there is a glow plug seized in. They're trying to get that out now. Hopefully they're going to get that glow plug out, then they can pressure test it. Hopefully it'll all be alright. Then they can skim it. They need to wait for a thick head gasket to compensate for the bit that they've skimmed off it. Now, in my comments last time they said just get a new engine. Well, people said just get a new engine. Oh, that's daft, innit? Because buy a new engine. If I'm going to buy a new engine, I want it sat on an engine stand. I want to strip it down. I want to have everything done on it and have all new gaskets fitted and all that, and make sure I know the engine. So I'm not going to just buy a new engine and put a new engine in to have potentially the same problems again. So I know this engine. I know some of the history of it because I know the previous owner of this vehicle. So the head's going to get skimmed. If it should work, it should be fine. It's costing a fair bit of money to have it skimmed and pressure tested and the valves reseated and all that kind of stuff. But that's just the way it is. Once it's done, I'll know everything about it. Maybe I'll buy another engine anyway and put it on an engine stand and faff about with it and rebuild it and all that kind of stuff. I might do that. I kind of got a place where I could do that now, so that might be a possibility. It might be fun to do as well. It might be nice to rebuild a reconditioned engine, paint it all up nice and all that kind of stuff, redo all the gaskets and that, and then one day just pop it in. That might be a long-term plan. But right now we fix what we've got. I expected it to be back by now, so this is like what we're on Saturday now, so it's a week after it happened. Hey, a week today that it happened. They've had the head since Monday and they said it'd be back by the end of the week, and it's not back by the end of the week. I think they're just busy, there's a backlog of stuff, and they struggle to get this glow plug out. Is what it is. I hoped that by the weekend I would have it back, but I would have had this problem fixed, but I haven't. so we move on to next week. I've just been busy with building other vans. I've got this Iveco that's behind me. This Iveco that's behind me here. I started that. The transit van is parked this side. Luckily, I'm trapped in between these two vans because last night the storm was horrible, and I've been sheltered somewhat from that. But yeah, I've ordered extra stuff. I didn't need to do the water pump, but while it's off, I'll do the water pump. I've ordered a little boost pin as well to hopefully give it a bit more of a, you know, some more power in that. I've ordered that. I've done that modification before on another, might have been on a Discovery 300 TDI. You just replace this boost pin. It's kind of a different shape to the original one, and it means that it offers more boost and more fuel when boosting. So that's going to get done. I'm going to do those things. I can't really do it now because it's a snow day. You can't see out there, can you? It's a snow day. It absolutely chucked it down with snow. There was a couple of inches of snow on the floor this morning, which wasn't ideal. But I'm just gonna spare a day next week. Hopefully, if I get the head back, I'll spare a day next week where I'll just go through and put everything back together. I'm saying this now. I've not put it back together and it's not working, but they are relatively basic engines to work on. Taking the head off, the hardest job was pulling the turbo manifold off and getting it out of the way. That was the hardest job, and that wasn't because the bolts were seized. I had no seized bolts. Everything just came undone, so that was good. It took me a few hours to get it off, but I wasn't working hard. I wasn't working fast. I wasn't stressing myself out. I was just being chilled. I took the cam and everything out and all the followers and all that, and that's all sat on a piece of cardboard, so I know that which way it goes back together and all that kind of stuff. All the parts are in a box, all the bolts are in a jar. There's not that many. There's not that many. There's 3 different types of head bolt, which is going to be which is annoying because I thought there were 2, and then when I looked back after I took them all out, there was 3. I didn't make note of where they go, but I've got a Haynes manual which will tell me exactly that. Hardest part of putting it back together is putting those head bolts in and torquing them up to the right settings, and then turning them 60 degrees after you've torqued them up and all that. Fucking, whose idea was that? To have that as a thing? Why not just have a higher torque setting and just do that rather than torque setting them up and then 60 degrees? It just seems a bit of a faff, but it is what it is, and it'll get done. Don't worry. It'll all go back together swimmingly. There may be other problems that I don't know about that also happened. The turbo manifold was glowing red. That is a worry, but it could just be that it was that hot. I don't see any other damage. Again, the engine did run afterwards. Just obviously it was only on 2 cylinders really, because once I took the head off, cylinder 2 and 3 were full of water, and then where the head gasket went, just for your information, was between those 2 jackets. So there's a water jacket and then the 2 cylinders, and that water jacket has gone into both those cylinders. The head gasket's knackered. I wish I had it to show you actually. The head gasket's knackered, and that's it. Those have filled up with water. So then the water is obviously being pushed out with the compression of the engine, which is why it was splattering out the header tank. And then there's steam coming out of the exhaust because it's trying to burn off the water that's in the. Is what it is. Not a lot I can do about that. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to record the working on it, but I just have no luck with cameras. I'm having no luck with YouTube at the minute. I feel like the more I try to with YouTube, the worse it's getting. But I'm keeping going for you. I'm keeping going for you. I'm doing it for you alone. I'm not making any money. I think I made about 100 quid last month from YouTube, which is no small amount of money, don't get me wrong, but the amount of stress it causes me is just not worth it. So I'll do it for you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little update on what's going on with the engine. I've not done anything else to... I bought this little fan. That sits on top of the stove, which you're going to tell me is in the wrong place, but I can't put it at the back because there isn't a back on the stove. Today I'm just sat in doing nothing. I'm just watching TV and keeping warm and entertaining the dog, editing this video, and that's it. got nothing to do all day, which is kind of good because it's the first day in a while I've had where I don't really have anything to do. But anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll keep you updated on this. Hopefully by the next video after this, it should be up and running again. I've got these spotlights. Spotlights arrived from Oaksbeam. They've sent me loads of stuff. I can't wait to show you that. And I think they're going to send me some more stuff as well. I've had another conversation about it. But also, I'll be making a video about the unboxing of that stuff and whatnot, fitting it, installing it. It just looks some seriously good kit. And I'm not just saying that because it's free. I've turned down a lot of free stuff recently, tools especially, because I'm loyal to my DeWalt tools. I don't need to have any other tools messing up the place. I don't just accept free stuff for the sake of it. If it's stuff I'm going to use and I know it's going to be good, I'll accept it. Anyway, I've just babbled on and just added a minute to this video. Sorry to waste your time. Love you all. I'll see you in a bit. Have a good day. Bye, Felicia.